Toward the end of his ministry, Jesus asked his disciples, his apostles, "Who do men say that I am?" And they said, well, some say Isaiah or one of the prophets, and some say Elisha. And Jesus says, "Who do you guys say that I am?" And Peter says, "Well, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God." Well, this is the fundamental confession of Christianity. If you don't think Jesus is the Christ, you don't really want to follow Jesus. You don't want to follow the Christ. You want to either be a Jew or not be a Judeo-Christian at all. Jesus was a carpenter's son. He was a carpenter by trade. He built houses. Apparently after he goes to heaven, he's going to keep on building houses right up till we get there. And he understood as a child that he was fulfilling the qualifications of Christ. And he looked at all these things. He says, well, maybe I am the Christ. And he goes on trying to prove there's a God, and miracles are happening when he says so. So he's convinced he's the Christ, but he doesn't stop there. People want to make him king. He says, I'm not king. It's a spiritual kingdom. And he goes so far overboard in telling people never to do anything bad and making them all be good like Job did, that eventually they get so mad at him, they absolutely want to kill him, murder him, and they crucify him to torture him. Now, as far as people who have suffered, that's a lot of suffering. But in terms of real terms, Chinese dissidents may be isolated for 7-8 years. They may be tortured. They may be tortured for months or years. American prisoners of war were kept at Hanoi Hilton for long durations of time in torment. Jesus' ministry didn't start till he was 30 years old, and at 33 he was dead. His ministry lasted 3 years, and when he was crucified after daybreak and died before sundown, because they didn't even break his legs to make him die faster. So Jesus definitely suffered, but he could die on command. He could apparently take his life back up on command. But there are people who have suffered more than Christ. The American military has a rule that after 24 hours you can tell what you got to tell. You can tell all. There's no restriction. So that you will not be tortured more than 24 hours. That means a person can be tortured for 24 hours at least, and maybe more. And Jesus died in less than 12.